My name is Shafika Husna, Binti Shamsul Amri, number matric 2733692. Okay, I will present for this auditing of the China Medical Technologies. Okay, first about the background. Okay, China Medical Technologies is a medical device that develops and manufactures product using a high intensity focused ultrasound, which is for the short is HIFU, for the treatment of solid cancers. It is located in Beijing, China, and the industries include the biotechnology, manufacturing medical devices. What is the meaning of HIFU? It is a non-invasive therapy that uses focused ultrasound wave to thermally ablate a portion of tissue. Okay, China Medical Technologies was founded in July 2004 at Cayman Island. According to the Wikipedia, the company have ECLIA business purported to consist of ECLIA analyzer and reagent kits as an IVD system based on ECLIA technology. The reagent kits were purported to detect various thyroid disorder, diabetes, hepatitis Down syndrome, liver fibrosis, disorders that related to the reproduction, growth, and various type of tumors. Next is FISH business, which is purported to consist of fish imaging. Next, fish business, which purported to consist of FISH imaging analyzer and FISH probes, purported to be a molecular diagnostic system based on FISH technology. Fish probes were purported to be molecular diagnostic reagent used with FISH imaging analyzer for the prenatal and postnatal diagnosis of various genetic disease and for the early detection and prognosis of various cancers. So lastly, they also do a SPR business, which is purported to consist SPR system and HPV DNA chips. This purported to be a molecular diagnostic system based on the SPR technology itself. Okay, for the objective of this research of China Medical Technologies, we want to analyze the fraud and conspiracy that happened in the China Medical Technology. We also want to state who, why, where, what, and how this fraud and conspiracy happened in China Medical Technologies in year 2011 until they have to shut down the company at that year. Okay, the reason we want to do this research is because we want to acknowledge the fraud happened and to learn how fraud in such a big company can destroy and torture our job scope in the company as an auditor. So there is no benefit in fraud as stated above, and as my friend will give info to you later, because the meaning of fraud itself is a wrongful act or criminal deception in intent to result in financial of the business or company and for the personal gain.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Balqis Izazi Binti Azri. My matric number is 273246. So for my part, I'm going to be talking about the China Medical Technologies Incorporation scandals. Based on the research that has been done, it was found that the company's former executive and founder, which is a former CFO Tak Yung Samsung Sang and CEO Jiang Dong Wu, were charged in the United States because of stealing more than 400 million US dollar from their investors. Both of them lie about the proceeds of notes offering that they got from January 2005 to November 2012. They lied by saying that it will be used for general corporate purposes such as to buy technologies and business and also to repurchase the outstanding notes. However, it was found that both of them already diverted more than $400 million to other entities which believe that the account is controlled by or related to them. Not only they steal the money, they also allegedly forced the China Medical outside auditor and also independent director to resign in order to cease them from making interest payments. On top of that, both of these corrupted leaders also want to shield their activities. So, they want the director and the auditor to stop public disclosures of the material event that influenced the securities. According to the Glaciers Research Group report, claiming that China Medical cheated the investors, which has caused its shares decline because of the short seller was targeting the company. As I mentioned before, that the outside auditor and the independent auditor was forced to resign in order to cease them from making interest payment. It makes all the debt holders of the company ask for the payment, ask for the company to be liquidated because of the interest payments that was not being paid. So last but not least, when the company faced bankruptcy, it was found by their liquidator that all the company financial problem might be the result from the fraud of transferring the assets and all the money that was missing.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yasmin Hanani binti Ramli. My metric number 273292, and I'm going to present about the effects of Chinese medical scandal to auditors. Based on the scandal that stated before, we know that Wu and Sang, lead the independent director and external auditors of China Medical, to be resigned, stop making public disclosures, and also stop making interest payments on the notes. Therefore, this issue has also affected the regulatory authorities' attitude to the auditors. It has affected the worldwide reviews of the rules which relate to the auditor's independence. The auditors of the company need to resign because of the scandals. This is because it is one of the companies that absorbed in Big Four. So, it has affected several companies as they are facing troubles with the purpose of make sure the audit and consultant service which provided by the firm does not face the same issue. Not only that, several companies in United States have also stopped their contract of consultation with the auditor from Big Four. In 2017, 91 of KPMG fellow auditors faced a contempt process in the Hong Kong High Court when the China Medical liquidator took action against KPMG in respect of its refusal respecting a February 2016 court order to submit the working papers, correspondence and notes to the liquidator. The liquidator requested that the 91 auditor accused to be detained in the court. This case can result in criminal penalties and weekly fines to the offenders.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syamimi Binti Razali and my metric number is 280425. I would like to continue this presentation with the roles of auditor, but before that I would like to inform the auditor of China Medical Technologies is KPMG. KPMG is one of the accounting organizations in Big Four, the world's four main professional services networks, which include multinational accounting firms. This organization provides three services which comprises financial audit, tax, and advisory. Between 2005 and 2009, KPMG served as China Medical's auditor, providing unqualified audit opinion on the company's and its subsidiaries' financial statements. Based on this case, the scandal really affected KPMG and the Big Four, which already mentioned above that 91 defendants of KPMG requested to be kept in contempt of court, which may lead to criminal charges or weekly fines. Roles of auditor. As for this case, the auditor should play its roles when these fraudulent activities occur and has been committed by one or more individuals within the company. The fraudulent activities started to happen when the company's former executive and also a founder, which is former CFO, Tak Yung Samsung Sang, and CEO Xiao Dongwu acted suspicious and forced the auditor and independent director to resign and asked them to avoid disclosing material incidents that affects the company's stock to the public and cease making interest payments. When this happened, the auditor should recognize the fraudulent activities and the risk of material misstatement due to fraud. The auditor should notice that both of them, Tak Yung Samsung Sang and Xiao Dongwu, is about to commit fraud. Next, the auditor should detect the risks that likely to occur when fraud happens. For example, management risk and audit risk. Management risk refers to the risk that auditors face because of their association with a specific client, such as loss of reputation, the client's failure to pay the auditor, or financial loss. Meanwhile, audit risk is the possibility that the auditor will issue an unqualified opinion on materially misstated financial statements. If the auditor incapable of detecting material misstatement that caused by fraud, then both of these risks might be occur and affected the auditor. In this case, KPMG did provide unqualified opinion on materiality misstated financial statements. Besides, management risk also occurred due to KPMG unable to detect the fraud, and it affected KPMG's integrity and independence and other accounting organizations in Big Four, also affected by the scandal. Due to the lack of information about the client company and also improper audit planning, the auditor should have proper strategy planning in order for them to perform audit, because if audit preparation is inadequate, then the audit software used to identify those risks will be implemented incorrectly, which can lead the material misstatement undetected. To perform an audit, auditors should know or hire people outside the company that are expert in that particular industry of the company, so that it can help the auditor to know more about the company, also to identify material misstatement in that company. After identifying the risk of material misstatement due to fraud, auditors should know how to overcome the risk and come up with supporting evidence in order to respond to the risk, because without supporting evidence, the auditor might experience difficulty to respond to the risk. The auditor should create and implement audit procedure. The auditor should do an interview from third parties such as the investor or bank. The auditor can ask about the independence and competence of management and the board of directors, and also ask about the proceeds of note offerings that both corrupted individuals claim to use it for buying technologies for business and repurchase outstanding notes. Since the client are unable to pay interest payment to debt holders, auditor can ask or interview the debt holders in order to gain more information about it, such as how much of the money that the client did not pay. After that, the auditor also needs to make observation about the purchase and identify either both individuals are honest as they claim that the money is used for the business. The reason why auditors should make observation about it, because they need to validate the process that the client stated, either by physical confirmation or by spending time gathering audit evidence in order to create their own projection that will be compared to the client figure. As for this case, auditor can ask the client to show them the technologies that they said they will purchase using the note offering that they got from January 2005 to November 2012, and show them the proof of transactions were made to repurchase the outstanding notes. If the client unable to prove it, then auditor should be alert that some irresponsible people have made some fraudulent activities and take action on it, which prove in this case that the client was suspected made fraudulent transfers of cash with much of the company's money missing.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurfatehah Binti Abdul Kodir, and my matric number is 273652. So today I will present about the next roles of the auditors. So first and foremost is the auditors can do inspections in order to check whether the purchase made by the client was really applied. This audit procedure is very important because most of audit work is related to inspection of documents. As for this case, the auditor should perform inspection of documents and verify whether the documents presented were actually based on what the client stated. For examples, examine the documents of the notes offerings where the client said it was used for the business. Next, the auditor also can perform audit procedure by recalculations. Recalculation is a type of audit procedure that involves reperforming the client's works in order to determine if the audit work differs from the client's works. It is also a method for verifying the accuracy of a calculation based on transactions. Also, auditors should do recalculation in order to find if there is any material misstatement in the financial statements. After performing the audit procedure, auditor can identify whether any material misstatement discovered may be a sign of fraud or error. Fraud is any mistakes that were done intentionally for under mistakes. Fraud has two categories, which are misappropriation of assets and fraudulent financial reporting. However, error can be defined as any mistakes that were done unintentionally, for example, mistake due to human carelessness. As for this case, based on the audit procedure performed, the auditor can determine that material misstatements are caused by frauds. This can be proven by interviewing the investor about the delay of interest payment by their clients. With all the supporting evidence, the auditor can investigate with more details and identify who commits the frauds. Last but not least, auditors should inform the board of directors, management, and those charged with governance about the fraud, and they should take suitable action to settle the problems. This is because auditor is not the one who is responsible in preventing the fraud. The prevention of fraud and error should be done by management of the company also. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so do you understand what my team member already explained to you about the fraud of this China medical technologies? Now, I want to conclude that the China medical technologies which defraud to develop, manufacture and market the in vitro diagnostic IVD product using with enhanced of ECLIA technology, fish technology and SPR technology to detect and monitor various disease and disorder. And with the shares of the company decreasing after a report from Balqis Research Group, the China medical technologies was targeted by short sellers for defrauded investors about the medical device maker. On top of that, the outside auditors and the board of directors of the China medical technology was forced to stop public disclosure of the material event because it will influence its securities. So the fraudulent that was made by the China medical technologies had affected the work of the auditor itself. Several companies also are affected because they are facing trouble to make sure that the audit and consultant service does not have the same issue. Because of what happened, the company in United States have to stop their contract with the auditors. So, however, the China Medical Technologies Liquidator Act against the audit firm that is KPMG for refusal of February 2016 court order which to submit working paper and correspondence and notes to the liquidator. Here, we can conclude that an audit is a complete and careful examination of selected financial records of a business or a person. KPMG, as an auditor of China Medical Technologies, should be aware of the audit work that they are going to perform for their client of the company in order to not having a problem while auditing like this problem. And KPMG serves services that include financial audit, tax and advisory. But however, they provide unqualified audit opinion and subsidiaries financial statement. So the role of the auditor in this case is to detect the risk that likely to occur when the fraud happen. So they have to know that what will happen later if the fraud occur. So other than that, the strategy planning is very important in this case of material misstatement. Besides that, audit procedure should be applied to identify any material misstatement due to the fraud itself. Here, in conclusion, there are material mistakes found, and KPMG should know that it was from fraud, not an error, in order to pass the information to the board of directors and the management. So that's all from our group members and me. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Selamat menjalani ibadah puasa dan selamat Hari Raya Maaf Zahir dan Batin.
I hope you guys stay safe, stay at home, #kita jaga kita. Thank you and bye.
And lastly, I would like to say always stay healthy and avoid crowded places, especially during this pandemic. Thank you very much.
Stay safe and take care. Selamat Hari Raya.